I'm going to assume all of you are familiar with How to Grinch Stole Christmas. There's no denying it's one of the most memorable Christmas specials in existence. I try to see at least one during the Christmas season. It has everlasting appeal that can always leave anyone feeling good even after multiple viewing. As I continued to watch the special, I became increasingly curious about the origin of the Grinch. It never really explored in any other format, at least to my knowledge. However, as of now, I wish my curiosity never got the best of me. I was browsing through the internet when I come across something interesting. There was something for sale on eBay. The item in question was a test tape for a prequel to Halloween Screams Tonight. The seller claimed that he's the son of a TV executive who worked at CBS during the 70s. He was selling the tape because he was unable to find a working VCR player to play it. He pointed out the special was originally meant to air a year after the Halloween Grinch Night premiered, but it was scrapped due to the subject matter. I was reluctant to purchase the tape due to the enormous price tag, $500. However, I also realized that I have a good opportunity to find out how the Grinch came to be. I offered to buy the tape after providing my address so he can deliver the tape to me. The seller informed me that I'll receive the tape in a week. After waiting for a week, I heard someone knock on my front door. I answered it and I saw the delivery man was a present with the tape I ordered. Upon signing it, I went to the room to open the package. It was a white cardboard box with a single scrap of duct tape sealing the flap to the top. Upon opening it and digging through the packaging, noodles, everything, I found the tape which is inside a clear clown case. The tape itself had no label on the front. However, there was a label beneath the tape. The label on the text, "The Origin of the Grinch." The tape, test tape, written in black. The tape looked alright. It had been slightly worn, which is somewhat fair, to be expected, considering how old it is. I took it down with me to the basement, and I set up my old VCR. Finally, I placed the tape into the VCR, and I waited for the special to begin. Throughout the first second of the video was very awkward. Soon enough, a text appeared. Displaying the information of the special reads, title, "The Origin of the Grinch." Every day, 1/9/78. Production, Dr. Seuss, improvised and despair-fueled express. Writer, director, copyright, Dr. Seuss. The text soon cut to black, and the old PR feeler entertainment logo faded. It played out to silence. It soon faded out to the Dr. Seuss improvised logo fading in. It also was silent. It eventually cut to the special opening title. It started with the text, "The Origin of the Grinch," arranged in the fashion similar to how the Grinch Stole Christmas title card began to scroll up, displaying the credits like before. This ran silent after the credits concluded. The faded to exterior of Whoville. The camera zoomed into one of the houses with a younger boy looking out the mountain through his bedroom window. The boy had green hair, brown eyes, and he was wearing gray shoes with blue shirt and pants. I'm assuming that boy is the Grinch. Through the narration, it made clear that he always wanted a dog for Christmas, and that he named his dog Max. The scene soon cut to his mother, who was downstairs cooking some dinner, and the father was not present. According to the narrator, the father was a heavy worker who managed to benefit for his family quite well. The mother muzzled over his decision to his work, dedication to his work, hoping that he would return with something that benefited the family so to a greater extent than ever. But before the father returned home and his mother greeted him, however, he didn't say hello, nor did he acknowledge her. He immediately walked to the bedroom, feeling concerned that the mother entered the room. The scene eventually cut to the boy's room, where the only sound of the verbal fights could be heard. Apparently, the father lost his job due to massive pay cuts and downsizing, the fire became more and more hostile to the point it frightened the boy. The next morning, the Grinch goes downstairs to tell his family about his Christmas wish. This prompts his father to be hastily lumber him over the idea due to current financial issue to the point where, that he grabbed the boy and prepared to spank him. The mother tried to hold him back. She got hit in the face, causing her to fall back and crash into a mirror. A shard of glass landed in her throat, ultimately killing her. The Grinch ran away out of fear. That the father yelled at him to come back. A time skip occurred, where we see the boy has grown older, that he has more body hair. His eyes seem to change as well. His white are now yellowish, pupils are now reddish. His clothes appear to be smaller, implying that yet he had to find a new place to live. He spied on the houses around Whoville, showing enormous signs of envy for those who was able to live happily. He intended to get in one of his houses, knocking on the door, hoping that the owner will be generous enough to let him in. Unfortunately for him, the owner was hastily telling him no, and then slammed the door in his face. The man proceeded to walk away out of sadness. As he walked, he continued to look at the happy family, showing greater signs of envy every time. Another time skip occurred, and we see that the Grinch is now older. He has more body hair around him. His shirt's now gone. He's curled up in the ball in the alleyway, thinking back to the day when his life changed for the worse. His father's actions continued to affect his mind, causing him to become more and more spiteful. His expression soon included when he heard a man and his son arguing about over selling the boy's dog. That brings him back to the worst memory for the Grinch. He proceeded to go and attack the man. The two got in a fight, which lasted until the Grinch dragged the man into a fuse box, electrocuting him to death. He grabbed the dog and pushed the boy away, running toward Mount Crumpet. He took shelter in a cave. He read on the floor. The dog cowered in fear. A new time skip place in the Grinch is shown to be in its true form at the point where everything began to make more sense. His shoe became too tight because that's all he could keep when he was a child. His head was not screwed on just right because he gets a complete mental trauma from his childhood. His heart began too small because he lost all hope or love. He declared that he would remain in detention for the remainder of his days. A few days later, however, the sweet and sour wind blew into the mountains, not unlike the howling in his Grinch night, which is no surprise. And floating at the Grinch's mind, he stared down at Whoville. He cracked his sinister grin. The special ends, and the credits roll in silence. Because of that, I was left in shock. My curiosity had led me to discover the shocking truth of the origin of the Grinch. I could never look at the specials the same way ever again. And that was the origin of the Grinch. I have to say, I've seen some crazy shit in my time with creepypastas, like the Maracas one where Marinette gets all spiteful and turns into Murder Bug. That was crazy. But this, I have to say, is pretty good. Might be one of the only Grinch creepypastas on the internet. Even though it's not as creepy as, like Sonic the X or Into Your Own creepypasta here, but it's still worth a look because the story was pretty interesting. First, I like the narrator, but the only problem I had was the seller. The seller said that he was the son of a CBS executive from the 70s. The tape that he was given was supposed to be a prequel to Halloween and Grinch Night and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But the weird thing is, they only reference How the Grinch Stole Christmas at the end. There's no reference to the Halloween and Grinch Night. I watched that special and it's pretty good. Anyway, my point is, it's a good story, and I have to say, I can't. If I can find the person who wrote this, I would say it. Let's see. Good job, Channel Evans, for creating this story. I was pleasantly surprised with this story. Yep, that's all I gotta say. See you guys next time. Bye.